It's the top 10 Glen Campbell songs of all time, part 2. Remember, we asked 100 plus true Glen Campbell fans on our mailing list to give us the meat, the real songs that made a difference to them. And this is part 2. Make sure you check out our first version. But we're getting down to the real meat here of songs that changed people via Glen Campbell. And in some cases, Jimmy Webb. We pointed out in our last video that 4 of the top 10 are written by Jimmy Webb, like this one, By the Time I Get to Phoenix. In fact, in 1990, it was named the 3rd most performed song from 1940 to 1990 by BMI. Isaac Hayes recorded a 19-minute version, but of course we'd expect nothing less from Isaac Hayes. Johnny Rivers did the tune in 1965, and Campbell went straight to number 2 on the country charts and number 26 on the pop charts in 1967. Just like Webb's MacArthur Park, which was a hit for Richard Harris in 1968 and Donna Summer in 78, it was written for his ex-girlfriend, Susan Horton, who eventually married Linda Ronstadt's cousin. By the time Webb was 21, he wrote some of his biggest classics. Frank Sinatra called By the Time I Get to Phoenix one of the greatest torch songs of all time. Number 4 is A Moment in Time, A Different Time, written by Chris Gantry, Dreams of an Everyday Housewife. Given the subject matter, it probably wouldn't be a hit today. Campbell sings of the sacrifices his wife made for a life with him. She was the prettiest girl in town with many suitors and hopes of a future as a dancer. It was released July 1968 as the first single from the album Wichita Lineman. It reached number 3 on the US country charts and number 1 in Canada. Number 3, Gentle on My Mind. John Hartford says he wrote the song after seeing the movie Dr. Zhivago. He says he wasn't trying to write a hit, and it wasn't about the movie. When Campbell first heard the song, he was an artist without a track record, but insisted on recording it. So he recruited his LA musician friends, better known as the Wrecking Crew, to which he was a member. So the band goes into the studio to record the song, and on the tape, you can hear Glen Campbell giving the band instruction. But it's only a demo, so it doesn't matter. He leaves it for his producer. The producer hears the song, loves the demo version so much, releases it as a single, takes out, of course, Glen Campbell talking on the tape. That's how good the demo was. In 1967, it peaked at number 30 on the US country charts, but had a long shelf life on the radio. And it was also re-released in 1968. Number 2, Galveston, as promised, more from Jimmy Webb. When asked if he was the characters in his songs, Webb said, ultimately, it's always me, I think, and sometimes me reaching out through another character, like a puppeteer. The Wrecking Crew also backed up Campbell on this one, which reached number 1 on the country charts and number 4 on the pop charts. It's about a soldier missing his girl and his home of Galveston, Texas. In 2003, this song was ranked number 8 in CMT's 100 Greatest Songs in Country Music. It was released in 1968 during the Vietnam War, and Webb considered the song an anti-war tune. Campbell, not so much. Little Richard, who's not known for giving out compliments, said, when Glen Campbell says one word, Galveston, it shakes me up. It takes me, man. That's the whole soul of it right there. Now here's a little surprise. Number 1 and number 2 came within 3 votes of each other. We didn't really want to make a tie, but at the same time, maybe we'll have number 1A and number 1B. The one with the lesser votes, Rhinestone Cowboy. The Wrecking Crew were on this one for Campbell's biggest selling hit of all time, released in 1975. It was written by Larry Weiss, who had written some minor hits for Nat King Cole, Chuck Jackson, the Shirelles, Jeff Beck, and the Animals. The tune is about a veteran artist and or cowboy, a real survivor, which is something that a lot of fans could relate to. Wise said the idea for the song was also a crying out for myself. It was the spirit of a bunch of us on Broadway when I started out. Neil Diamond, Tony Orlando. We all had dreams of making it. It went to number 1 on the country and pop charts all over the world. Rhinestone Cowboy was also one of 6 songs in 1975 that were number 1 on both the country and pop charts. The other songs were Before the Next Teardrop Falls by Freddie Fender, Hey Won't You Play, another Somebody Done Somebody Wrong song by B.J. Thomas, Thank God I'm a Country Boy and I'm Sorry Calypso by John Denver, and Convoy by C.W. McCall. Wise will go on to do TV work. He performed the theme song to Who's the Boss in the 80s. And now our number 1 song by 3 votes. Another one of the greatest songs of all time, written by Jimmy Webb. He truly is a genius. It's the gentle Wichita Lineman. It's a tune that's regularly voted as one of the greatest songs of all time. It's from the album of the same name, released in 1968. And yes, again, the Wrecking Crew backs up Glen Campbell. It reached number 3 on the US pop charts and remained in the top 100 for 15 weeks. Webb says he got the idea for the song while driving through WICHITA County in Oklahoma. That day he saw a telephone lineman up on a pole with a teletalker. This song is probably the best example of how Glen Campbell was such a great spokesperson for the gorgeous melodies of Jimmy Webb. 1968 was also the year we lost Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy. The world needed a haunting love song, even though Webb described it as the picture of loneliness. Campbell told the Dallas Observer that Webb wrote the song about his first love affair with a woman who was married to someone else. Glen Campbell didn't write any of these songs, but he became those characters in every one of those tunes, and we believed him every step of the way. We're going to be doing more top 10 songs for a lot of different artists and putting up some voting charts on our website so you can vote for your favorite songs for a particular artist. Make sure you comment on our videos and subscribe to our channel. We'll also check out your videos. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Book.